everyone. Welcome to Magic in the Matrix. I'm your host, Kelsey White, and here I am with.
I am Alexander Fox. And Kelsey, I have a joke that I found out this week, and I would love to share with you in the audience.
I'm in. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Okay,
let's
here we
go.
go. So, yesterday, there was a bunch of cows watching a monk meditate just out in the meadows. And the monk is going like this, doing the mudra. The guy in mudra where your index finger and thumb are together. And the monk goes, Om. And then the cows are going, yo, that man is crazy. He's got it all backwards.
Ah, that's so good. I did not know spiritual jokes were just cruising these streets like that, but I am going to bring that to work, I think.
Oh, you absolutely have to. There's no way that the guys are not going to laugh because they're going to be like, oh, moo.
Oh my gosh. All right. To the finance gig, the monk cow joke goes, wow. I don't even know how to top that. So I'm just gonna introduce this episode this week, but 10 out of 10. Brava.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
fam, we are at our third and final, for now, episode on the chakra system. So we have done our lower chakras, a heart chakra episode with a beautiful heart chakra activation, and now we are to the upper chakras. So let's begin. Mr. Fox, would you like to introduce the throat chakra?
I sure will. So we have the throat chakra located between like the collarbone and then all the way up into your jaw. And this is the color blue. The mantra is Ham, Ham. So you go Ham. And then the mudra, the hand symbol, is where you interlace your fingers like at the top of the knuckles. So you're not like going fingers over knuckles, but like knuckles and fingers. And then when your thumbs are pointed towards you, you have your left thumb over your right thumb. And then you hold it right in front of your throat. And this will help heal, cleanse, and activate it in the Sanskrit, Buddhist, Hindu ways. Okay. And this is all about speaking your truth, being in your authentic expression, saying what's on your heart, saying what's on your mind. Of course, choosing your battles because we're not going to be able to do it all the time as much as we like to because of societal norms, but that's okay. As long as you feel called to share it and it'll help you feel lighter and to stand in your power and your sovereignty for what is true for you, good for you, feels good, then it'll help you elevate yourself and to even create some more boundaries to see where you're standing in every single scenario and then like where other people can see you and feel you as well. And it could feel blocked if you're like suppressing it and you'll feel like, oh, I don't think these people want to hear what I have to say. And you actually would be very shocked for people that may need to hear what you have to say.
Amen, brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Kelsey, I would love to hear your interpretation, your experience with the throat chakra.
Well, you know I have my more basic mantra.
That's
So when I'm
okay.
when I'm clearing my chakras and I get to my throat chakra, I always say to myself, I speak, I listen, I hear, I eradicate limiting beliefs. So when
Mm.
I was learning Reiki and learning about the throat chakra, a lot of people talk about this, right? Speak up for yourself, because that's very challenging in our society. But I learned also that hearing and listening to others is such an integral part of the throat chakra that it kind of blew my mind, because we all know those people, right? That they have no problem kind of commanding presence in a room and sharing what they think is right. But sometimes it's hard for them to, if you're listening on audio, Alexander is making me laugh as a commander in chief. Sometimes it's hard to for these people to just allow others to have space and a perspective that they kind of integrate or allow into the kind of conversation. And so I've always thought about that when I'm somewhere and someone is kind of like bombastically talking and not letting people have a perspective too. I'm like, ooh, throat chakra issues there. And then the other really interesting kind of addition to the throat chakra that is part of my mantra is that I eradicate limiting beliefs, right? So we think of throat chakra as this like truth. I'm speaking my truth. When I need to say something, I say it instead of withhold it. But it's also that kind of inner knowing to yourself, right? So if you have a limiting belief, like, I don't know, abundance is suffering or something. Not that I have that one. Wink, wink. If that truth can sometimes be sort of blocked in your own belief system. And in my perspective, from what I've studied and seen, is that that is associated with the throat chakra. So I encourage all of you to think kind of this expanded way about the throat chakra, that it's definitely beyond just speaking up. It's that listening. It's that truth is a kind of integral part of it. And I think you're totally right that a blockage is that inability to speak up for yourself. And that could be just kind of like fear, right? Like the confidence in speaking your truth. But it
Mm-hmm.
can also be people pleasing a little bit, right? Where people are like, I'll just go with the flow. I'll assist these people. I don't want to cause a stir.
It's
But
all
that's,
good.
yeah, right. Like I'm so chill, but that's actually a blockage of your throat chakra because your soul is powerful and your perspective is important. So sometimes that blockage with that speaking up for yourself or a lack thereof is related to just trying to be such a quote unquote good person. And I think that can be really interesting. So I'd like to empower you all to speak up for yourself no matter what, unless it's going to, be a bad judgment call for the circumstance. But I think that those throat chakras blockages can really cause some harm, and we'll get to kind of the physical manifestations of that soon, but
Mm.
definitely encourage you all to do that. My final thought on throat chakra is ways to activate your throat chakra.
Ooh, I have one exercise.
Oh my god, you go first and then I'll add mine.
Okay. One of the things I like to do is I know that we can get a little bored having like the same voice saying, oh, I am abundant, I am safe, I am secure, I am expressing my truth. It's like saying it is good. Why not have some fun with it? Why not say, like, man, I love being able to express my voice. I love it when I can express my voice. I absolutely love when my voice gets heard by the millions and billions of people so I can truly stand in my power. When you do it in different voices, it's fun and it gets you like out of your head into your throat and more into your body. And then, yeah, you feel lighter on the inside, at least for me. And then, like, there's more love, there's more creativity, more excitement, and just keep expanding your horizons in these like new, simple, and subtle ways.
Beautiful. You know what else that does is raise your vibration. If you listen to our episode on vibes, right? Being silly and just not taking things so seriously in your perfect mudra and your perfect mantra. Like give yourself a terrible British accent. I'm famous for that. Okay, I was just going to say by singing and humming, but I like doing silly accents so much more of that. But all of those are very valid throat chakra activations.
Singing and humming are also so beautiful, powerful, and can be pretty hilarious too.
Gorgeous. I agree.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Well, I feel like that's a beautiful intro to the throat chakra. Let's move on to the third eye. Would you like to give an intro?
I sure will. Ooh, that's activated. Even just like putting your little finger on it is beautiful. Actually, that's part of the mudra that'll be happening. Okay, so the third eye, the color is indigo. And the mudra for it is if you place your left hand in front of you and you take your index finger, your middle finger, and thumb, and then you press them together so that your ring and pinky are standing up. And then you put it right in the middle of your third eye, like in your just a little bit lower than the base or than the middle base of your forehead. And actually, I take that back. Put it like more in between your eyebrows, like maybe
Love
like a
it.
millimeter up. There you go. You got it. And then with your other hand, your right hand, it's your ring finger, index finger, and thumb that come together. Your middle finger and pinky will stand up, and place that in on top of your right knee. And then the mantra, the mantra for it is Om, just like the opposite of moo. And then you can hold it for a few moments just to be with it, clear, heal, and activate it. And so this one's pretty interesting. This will help you see more things of like reality and not just like seeing things for like as they are like on the surface level, but like on an energetic level, it helps you feel into things. It's connected to your gut as well. It's like the mind and gut and heart connection. That's why all the chakras are connected. And you'll be able to notice subtleties or maybe even red flags, when it comes to people, especially in the dating scene, or maybe when it comes to a job or an interview, or maybe new friends or being around a community. Like you'll be able to like see things and feel things for like as they truly are and not just what they're showing you on the surface level. And ways it could be blocked is just like, people pleasing, or maybe that you're just going with the flow all the time without using discernment and not taking a step back to breathe and to discern and evaluate the situation. And things that you can do to like heal it is just sun gazing. So if you look at the sun during the first 15 minutes of a sunrise or the last 15 minutes of a sunset, you can look into the sun directly with your eyes open. But any other time, not of those sunrise and sunset times, close your eyes and look at it. It'll help decalcify your pineal gland. It'll help you be more grounded, be in your body, and it'll help you see the world more than what's truly there. And I'll leave those little surprises for you to experience on your own.
Ooh, I like it. Also, decalcify your pineal gland. Say that 3 times fast.
Decalcify your pineal gland, decalcify your pineal gland, decalcify your pineal gland.
Yay! There we go.
That's cool.
Gorgeous. Cool. Well,
Sweet.
so the third, I think you did a beautiful overview. I don't have crazily too much to add about the third eye, but I'm really interested in the part you said about just kind of going with the flow, right? So your third eye is your gut feeling, it's your intuition. And there's many ways, like sun gazing. You can also activate your third eye by just doing a lot of meditation. And maybe in your meditation, you visualize images, but a lot of people think meditation means you have to either be blank or like psychically see spirits or something. You really just want to tune into any of your clairs. So maybe you just kind of meditate and tune into a feeling that's really underneath the surface for you. But that really just going with the flow is important because a lot of people just kind of live their day to day and thus their full life in inertia, right? They're like, I go here and I get this coffee and then I go to my job and act like this. And this is kind of the me that comes out with this person. And, maybe I get a promotion this year and maybe I find someone to date and I have a baby and I buy this house. And it's a lot of just kind of societal programming that if your third eye is shut or you're not really tuning in into your inner knowing, that is this third eye that's activated, you're just kind of doing whatever society told you to do. And if that's on the bigger scheme of like having kids or a certain career path, or just in the day to day of like, I leave at exactly this time, even if I have a feeling like maybe I should leave a little later, like those little gut feelings can on a small scale kind of redirect your day. And maybe you avoid an accident, or maybe you have a really interesting conversation in this, coffee shop line that wouldn't have happened if you didn't listen to your gut, up to the major things like, existentially, what am I doing with my life, and does that comport with my soul plan? So yeah, I just really encourage you all, if you're trying to activate this third eye, to really let yourself get out of that inertia mode and into your inner knowing, because your body, your soul, your higher self, you know the answers. We don't need external forces to come tell us. We don't. I love tarot decks just as much as anyone, or maybe more, but you really have so much knowledge that's just right in your heart and in your soul that you can absolutely tap into. So yeah, I would say that again, just to not worry too much about meditating and having an attachment to what comes up in your meditation, because you might be surprised as long as you're wide open. Gorgeous. Any other thoughts on third eye?
I absolutely love how you explained all that and really portrayed it. and keeping it more simple for people who, are thinking like, oh, I got to meditate, sit still for 20 minutes every day. It's like sometimes that's hard for me to do. And I've meditated
Baby.
for like 2 hours at one time. And I can't do that all the time.
And that's
Like,
not the only way to meditate. It's just like pressure that, like, honestly, spiritual ego puts out into the world. Like, you can just meditate. And we've talked about this in many ways, but
hmm,
like all of us, some people are like, well, my third eye isn't really open because I'm not psychic, like spiritual healers. We all have this beautiful, profound wisdom housed right within our body. And we can all feel very empowered by that, right? You don't need anybody but your own wisdom. And that's quite epic. And it's very soothing to know that that is available to you. So, and you
ooh.
know what, guys, when you're giving an overview of something, end it with gorgeous. like, like, right? Like I end my little blurb and then I'm like, gorgeous. That was I recommend that too. That has nothing to do with the third eye. It's just loving yourself.
You have a gorgeous third eye, Kelsey. Or your third eye is gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on to our seventh chakra, our crown chakra.
The crown chakra, located basically like where your hairline is, and then like all the way around from front to back. Um, it feels like a headband, or it feels like you have like a crown or a tiara around your head, depending on where you want your perspective to be or your visualization. So have fun with it. Are you a king? Are you a queen? Are you both? Ooh.
Duh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the color is violet. The the mantra for it is Aum. It's AUM. And you always just open your mouth really wide, like Aum. And then it closes on like the ooh. And then you hum it at the end. And then the mudra, the hand position, is where you just connect your thumbs together and your index fingers together. So you're basically making a diamond, and then your palms are facing downward, and then you slowly pull them all the way up to the top of your head, maybe like a foot or two, depending on how tall or short you are. And then just hold that and imagine a divine white or golden light coming straight down through the diamond and into your crown for healing, knowledge, or wisdom, or just love, healing, whatever your intention would like to be. And then you can end it by separating your hands, bringing them to your shoulders above, and then just bringing that energy all the way down to your feet.
That felt really good. That was fun.
Mhm. Yeah, you feel such a shift with that. Yeah, it's cool. And yeah, this is divine knowledge and wisdom. Like sometimes, we have an overactive crown chakra if we're thinking too much or worrying or in depression or having the dark night of the soul. We could be underactive where, like nothing is really working per se. Like the flow's not there. We feel out of alignment. We feel confused. We feel lost. We're just like, what's like going on here? And then like you're you just feel like low and not like super high and anxious, like maybe like an auctioneer, like how fast they talk. Like that's probably an overactive crown chakra. Um, and then ways to like keep it like more balanced is um, just like the exercise we did, it's just learning how to maneuver the energy just downward. Because if we're in our crown too much, like, it could be pretty hectic. So the more that we're in our body, the more that energy is flowing, and the more that we're really connected to our innate intelligence system, like we've mentioned with the lower chakras, and you just feel more imbalanced with yourself and with the flow of life and like what's really happening for you.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And then how about you, Miss Kelsey? What do you have to share?
So I was going to do a British accent, but I need to practice. My mantra for the crown chakra is I am connected to my higher self guides, angels, and source consciousness. And that makes me feel so good. Similar to the mudra, where you're kind of bringing this like power down. I visualize like this. That's right. It's like a violet and like a brilliant white kind of color. I visualize this like brilliant white, like kind of glam rain coming down into my auric field and just like uplifting it and cleansing it. Because from my perspective, the crown chakra is your connection to all things, which is beautiful because that can be source, can be your higher knowledge, just the love of the universe. I kind of visualize it as that, like, if you ever heard of like the mycelium, I think that's like, isn't that the underground structure of like mushrooms that connect the ecosystem? Don't quote me on that, but I
I
believe
am
so.
I am 99% sure you're right.
Beautiful. Yeah. So I kind of consider this crown chakra as that, like from my own feet, like these roots coming down to connect me to all things. And that connection and oneness with God, with love, with everyone is what is really beautiful about the crown chakra. So I think some signs that your crown chakra are, maybe there's some sort of blockage. This is kind of an interesting one, but I was just thinking of it, is a little bit of like that lack of empathy for other people, like that hyper individualism or a lack of empathy or a lack of ability to put yourself in other people's shoes, right? Because the crown chakra is about connection. And when you're disconnected from everyone, you're just kind of thinking like, well, no one gets me and I'm better than everyone else at XYZ, or I don't understand why this person made that choice. And you're like, if you were exactly in their shoes with exactly their conditioning, you would have made that choice. So I think sometimes that kind of that disconnection and individualism is a sign that there might be an issue with the crown chakra. Also, that just kind of like low, like isolated feeling like I don't have support in any way and I'm alone and no one understands me. That's really valid. And I think most everyone feels like that at some point. But if you really connect back into the crown chakra energy, you realize like this abundant love from source and everyone and your higher self and your ancestors. They're all rooting you on and supporting you in so many ways. And like it's harder to conceptualize when they're not in front of you giving you a hug, making you
Mhm.
dinner or something, but it is there and it is powerful when you connect into that. So I think those kinds of concepts have helped me really like tune into my crown chakra, where it's like this is just a really cool skill in my toolkit to just feel more connected and feel more supported. And then you alluded to this, but I'll just add because it's a pet gripe of mine, I think people that do
Okay.
so much spiritual work that they're up in their upper chakras and their third eye's open and their crown channels open and they're channeling all this higher consciousness, but they're really ungrounded. So it's kind of like this like ironic thing that your crown chakra, which is this like connection to God, and it feels very woo woo. If you actually have a balanced crown chakra, you are grounded. You are not just like scattered and can't figure out how to be a human and thinking you're better than humans walking around that aren't in their meditative state with all their psychic awakenings every 2 seconds. Like that's disconnection to others. And
Mm.
so if you are a spiritual person that has not grounded, you may feel like you're really in your path and you're, having these really elucidating insights about reality. And that's beautiful. But remember to ground, because that crown chakra destabilization leaves you like queasy and disconnected, actually, even though you feel like you're opening up. So I would definitely caution people that are deep into spirituality to continue to ground and make sure their crown chakra stays in balance.
Exquisite explanation.
You.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I have some rapid fire comments about the chakras. Are you okay with just a little more knowledge dropping on this episode?
Drop the knowledge right now.
Okay, guys. So we talked at length now for 3 episodes about each of the 7 main chakras. There are many chakras, but we stuck with kind of the Roy G. Biv. Wait, is that the rainbow thing? Roy G.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
That thing, y'all know. We stuck with the main 7. Let's just stick with that. Talked a lot about kind of the color, the mudras, mantras, activations, blockages. But what's very important is that these chakras are these kind of energy centers that just convey things about your being. And so we've talked quite a bit about sort of the emotional implications of each chakra, but there are also associated physical symptoms with each chakra. And really, if you go to an excellent Reiki healer and they notice certain, overactive or underactive, oh yeah, of which Alexander J. Fox is the best of the best, truly, I go to him when I need some support in my chakra system. But really, what these practitioners will be able to suss into is a mix of your physical dis-ease and emotional dis-ease, right? So these chakras out of balance create dis-ease. And so we didn't want to have this be 5,000 episodes. So we won't go crazy into it, but noting that a lot of times, not even just like talking about a specific chakra, physical dis-ease is associated with emotions too, and thus blockages. So I'm going to kind of rapid fire go over the chakras and just little indications physically that there might be some sort of misalignment. And then maybe you hit up Alexander J. Fox and get them fixed. Okay. So root chakra, again, that's your lowest chakra. If you have lower back pain, lower extremity issues, that might be an indication that your root chakra is out of balance. Your sacral chakra is your, right below your belly button, your sexual organs. So from a physical perspective, you might have sexual dysfunction, urinary problems, some like lower belly issues, kidney issues. If you have these types of things, that might be an indication that there is some sort of sacral imbalance. Solar plexus is a little bit higher than your sacral, kind of right above the belly button, right? And so if you've got digestive issues, stomach problems, you've got like pancreatic or gallbladder problems, that might be an indication that you have a solar plexus issue. Up to the heart, pretty self-explanatory, right? Heart issues might indicate some sort of issue or blockage with your heart chakra. But the heart, like we had our lower chakra episode, heart, and then upper chakra, right? The heart chakra is sort of that intermediary between all the chakras. And so another kind of indication physically that there's an issue with the heart chakra is some issue with lymphatic system, right? So the lymphatic system is like kind of connecting all of your body. And so that's very similar to how the heart chakra kind of blends between the lower and upper, and is that love, that openness is very integral to your health. Throat is another one that's not too much of a leap to figure out what is a major indication of a physical issue with the throat chakra, but you might have throat problems, right? Like sore throats, coughs, tonsillitis. You might have like neck pain, shoulder pain that kind of originates from this tightness here. Those are physical indications that there might be an issue with the throat chakra. Up to the third eye here. Third eye, physical indications that there might be a blockage include headaches, right? So you get like sinus pressure or migraines, headaches, vision issues up here in your literally ability to see might be a very kind of hit you over the head indication that you have trouble seeing from a third eye perspective. You all need to watch a YouTube, because when I say things and Alexander makes a funny gesture, I always laugh. But I struggle with the giggles, guys. I literally got kicked out of a middle school algebra 2 class because I had the giggles. Actually, no, I kicked myself out. I was like, I struggle with the giggles and I have to go. And I think I got a detention, but like, sorry for partying. Okay, last one. Physically, we'll talk about sort of the crown chakra here on top of your head. So a physical dis-ease that may indicate an issue with your crown chakra is like a sensitivity to light, or just like an overall disorientation that you might realize you're out of balance from this connectedness level. So much more to come there on the physical symptoms. We are not medical practitioners, so we definitely are not giving medical advice or anything of that nature, but this has been studied for a long, long time. These kind of indications sort of work cross-functionally between the emotional and physical. And I think it's a really cool toolkit for y'all to have.
Truly it is. And thank you so much for explaining all that, because it really does bring just more awareness for people to be like, maybe there's a little discomfort there. Maybe I should tune into it and just kind of see what's going on. And don't be afraid to contact your doctor either, and figure it out, but also see what other holistic practices may actually benefit you too.
Absolutely. And I always say your body knows. Our bodies are so smart. And so it's easier to kind of be like, wow, I keep having this freaking sore throat that seems to never go away. That's kind of an easier entry point sometimes into some deep inner work about your ability to speak up for yourself or certain limiting beliefs you have, right? And so it's kind of a cheat code for life. Just listening to your body. Thank you, bodies. This is not the first time we've been on our podcast thanking our bodies. If you are listening on an audio platform, we are hugging ourselves, and you should too, unless you're driving. Do not if you're driving.
Especially not when you're driving. Do it when you're at a red light, or when you get to your place and then people are looking at you, then just hug yourself all the way to the door.
100%. If you're in line at the grocery store, hug yourself too. We love that. Thank you all for tuning in to Magic in the Matrix. We hope you loved our 3-part series on chakras, and we'll get back to you shortly. Love you, fam.
Big love, y'all. Have fun on this journey. We did it. Yes.